Chegou, jogou e afirmou-se. Qual polvo no meio campo leonino, qual recuperador de bolas naquela que é a sua zona de habitat natural. Mas se tiver a hipótese de fazer um cruzamento, vai sair com GPS. Se tiver a hipótese de rematar, vai sair um grande remate de fora da área, como já marcou ao serviço do Sporting Clube de Portugal. É a primeira grande entrevista para os sportinguistas conhecerem alguém que está ao meu lado e que usa a camisola número 42 no Sporting Clube de Portugal. Estamos a falar de uma das caras novas desta temporada, Morten Hjulmand. Morten, first of all, I promise you that I train a lot in front of the mirror, a lot of times, for these three sentences that I'm going to say to you. If you want to correct the spell or the meaning of these words,
okay,
you are absolutely okay to interrupt me. So, the first one, mangetak for interviewed.
Yes, yes.
It's okay?
Yeah.
The first one, okay. So, the second one, vad kan du säga på portugisisk? Medium, yeah.
I know like a couple of words, especially when we speak about football, but for sure the two most important are Sportingistas and Força Sporting.
Yeah, very good. The last one, Vordaner mit Dansk.
Again, sorry?
Vordaner mit Dansk.
It's very good.
Okay. I ask if it's okay, my Danish,
yes.
but it's not very fluent.
I know.
I train a lot of times, but it's okay. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
To finish this part of the language, I saw one interview of you when you were at Lecce, when you played at Serie A. When you start to speak Italian, very fluent, very well. Do you train very hard when you go to another country to absorb that type of language and to speak the native language, to turn everything more easy in your adaptation to the next club?
Personally, it's very important when you go to a new country to live, that you learn about the culture and you learn about the language. And now I'm trying my best to learn Portuguese. It's hard, but it was also hard to learn Italian. It took some months, even more than 1 year, I think. So it's about adapting to a new culture.
How many languages do you speak now?
I speak Danish, English, Italian. I was speaking German when I was in Austria, but I'm not using the language so much anymore, so I forgot most of it, and now I'm trying to learn Portuguese.
What do you think about the Portuguese? Is harder, easier than Italian? Some people they say that is similar because of the Latin.
Yes.
How do you think about the Portuguese words?
I agree, it's similar. So I think it'll be maybe more easy for me to learn Portuguese than Italian. Because of the Latin, it's similar. So now I just need to try my best.
Do you have lessons in Portuguese?
Yes, I have lessons.
Some people say that he's very quick. The people talk very quick in Portugal. The expressions in Portuguese. Do you understand that when you try to understand what they are saying, it's very quick?
Yeah. Like for example, when you were speaking before, on your accent for me was hard to understand. But I think when I'm speaking to kids, it will be more easy.
Nowadays, let's talk about football and the part of the football that was the main thing that brought us here to this interview. If you could sum up these 138 days of Portugal, of this adventure in Sporting, which words you use it to describe this new chapter in your career?
With one word.
One sentence, for example.
If I can do it with one word, happiness.
Happiness. Why?
I think since I arrived here, I had the feeling from the first day that I feel a part of a group, of a family. I felt it from the first day, and also the life outside football in Portugal, for me personally, is high level, if you can say that. I really enjoy the climate here. The area where I live, and of course going to practice every day, to be with the team, with my teammates, to do what I love, and that's why I would say happiness.
And one thing is for certain, Portugal will be always remembered if you one day go to another country, because here it was the time on your private life that you get engaged, so it is very important for you, I bet.
I can engage.
Yeah.
That I will always remember. It was the right place to ask my girlfriend for that.
And you get more nervous on the first game of Sporting or when you ask for your
When I ask my girlfriend, for sure.
Very nervous in that time.
Yes.
Everything started in Kastrup, Denmark.
Yes.
How can you describe your childhood as a child before the football part?
I have an amazing childhood, and what I remember with my brother and my parents was a very calm childhood with a lot of football. But also the school was very important in my family. They always told me that school come first, and after you can go to practice. So I had a very good childhood, and I'm grateful for that.
How can you present for the people that don't know about the city, about Kastrup? What can you say? Because everyone thinks that Kastrup is only the airport because it's the zone of the airport.
Yeah.
What can you say?
I would say it's not a place I think Portuguese people would like to go on vacation. Maybe to Copenhagen because it's a capital and it's a big city. But where I come from, it's more calm. We only have the airport.
And the football, it began in your life because of your brother that is still playing in Tarnby.
Yes.
That is your childhood club. You start there or you start always in Copenhagen?
It's a different club in Tarnby, but I started there when I was 3.5 years because of my...
So soon?
Yeah, because of my brother and my dad. He was the coach, so you can say my family is a football family.
And they never push you to be a footballer? It was like always a wish for you to start the football and start a possible career?
It was my choice and my wish. They could feel that I enjoyed playing with the ball alone, and then they sent me to practice with the other kids. And it was just a game running around with the ball, but they could see that I enjoyed it a lot.
Your brother is also a midfielder.
Yes.
So who is the best of you since the beginning?
Oh, my brother he is a very good player.
Yeah.
He was also a big talent. So now it's not, of course, it's not professional, but he's a good player in his league.
And references when we were a kid, because everyone, even the people that don't play like me, we have players that we look up to, we want to be like them. I think that you liked a lot Patrick Vieira.
Yes,
it's correct.
It's true.
You had a poster when you were a kid?
When I started to watch football as a kid, Arsenal had an amazing team, and he was the captain and playing in the midfield. He was a big inspiration for me.
And why is the connection about Arsenal? Because that time I don't think they had some Danish players or something.
No, nothing. Like but my dad has been a supporter for many years, and that's why we also began to watch the games when we were younger.
So it starts on Patrick Vieira, and the next steps of references in the pitch. Do you have more people to look up to as a player when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, Cherang Ri was an amazing player to watch. Also his character, like Patrick Vieira.
Yeah.
You had a lot of good characters in the team, but especially those two.
Most recently, I know that you looked up to Marcelo Brozovic, that was an Inter player, Inter Milan player, and now he's at Al Nassr, because of the characteristics, the time that he travels the ball a lot, he protects the ball a lot in the midfield. It is one of that players that you look up to, not to be the same, but to have receive some characteristics from him.
When I watch football, I mainly watch the player in my position to learn, to see what they do, to see what maybe I can improve. And when I played in Italy, for me he was the best in his position in the league. So I admired the way he played in Inter. I'm not watching the Saudi Arabic league now, so I don't know how he's doing. But I enjoyed watching him in Inter, the way he played there.
But you never went to another position or started in the other position in the field? It was always the midfield. Don't you have the dream to be a hero and score every goal of the team when you were a child?
No, I think also when I was a kid I was always the player who fought a lot, who wanted to go into a lot of duels and work for the team, even when I was a little kid. So I just think that's my role in the team and that's my position.
I can see that you have all the ideas well organized since you were a kid. So the decision to go to Austria with 18, 19 years old, after you played a lot of years in Copenhagen, you played the UEFA Youth League, even you played against Porto in UEFA Youth League in that time in Portugal. How was for you to decide to go to another country, to have an adventure in a first team of Admira? That was the next thing. It was hard to separate yourself from your hometown and from your country?
I mean, I had the option to stay at Copenhagen in the first team, but I knew if I was going to stay, I would not play many games.
The chances were very low.
So back then, with my advisor, we looked on me personally, where can I go to play a lot of football games? Because I'm young and I need experience and I need games every week to play 90 minutes. So we found this option in Austria. We spoke with the sports director there, and it was a good connection. And they played with a lot of young players. So I went there, played a lot of games every week, getting some minutes, learned a lot about the football there, about professional football. But of course, it was very hard to travel to a new country.
Yeah.
With a young age. I felt lonely, in the first couple of months, and that's normal, when you go to a new country and you don't have your family and friends there, but that's a part of football.
It made you grow up as not only as a person, but as a player also.
Yeah, a lot. It's different when you live at home with your parents and they take a lot of responsibility in the home to make it easier for you. But when you move out, and especially to a new country, you have to take care of everything on your own. And I think that meant a lot for me, that I could learn these things very fast.
And how important it was, like that 2.5 seasons in Austria for the first experience outside your country and in a first team.
Yeah, it was turbulent because we had a lot of coaches. I think maybe 7 coaches in 2.5 years. Yeah, it was crazy. But even though we didn't perform well and it was not easy to play in the team because our performances were not good, I still played a lot of games, and I learned so many things about being in a professional team and how to act as a professional player.
Then another travel in your life to Lecce, to Italy, completely different in that time because they were at Serie B and in the second division. And the decision again, it was the most easiest one that you made in your career because you did, like, I can say that you put a step ahead in your career to pursue the dream to be in the top football in Europe?
I don't know if it was the easiest, but because you heard stories about Italy when players are going there, that it can be difficult for them, especially foreigners. But for me, it was a new adventure, and I always loved Italy as a country to go on vacation. So for me, it was a good opportunity to go on a new adventure there, even though I knew it was going to be tough.
95 games, a clinch to Serie A in the second season. In the first one, you made it to the playoffs, but you didn't acquire the tickets to the next phase. Stayed in Serie A in the next season with you a captain. Wow, it's impressive. In 2.5 seasons to conquer this type of things in a club, it's very important, and it's impressive for any player.
I don't look at it like that.
You don't look at the stats?
No. I think when I finish my career, I will do. But it was an amazing time in Lecce and in Italy. I enjoyed it a lot, like I'm enjoying it here. And like in Austria, I tried to learn as many things as possible because I was still young. but back then it was more easy to be a part of the culture because it's more close to Denmark, the Austrian culture and the language. So moving to Italy it was different again. So I needed to adapt also there, and I was hoping to do it fast, so I could get closer to my teammates and also to the way of living in Italy.
I tried to sum up everything and resume that's years in Lecce, but I think the most important thing that you left there, it was when you say goodbye to the club and to the supporters, because they invade your Instagram post saying grazie capitano, see you another day. This is what you want to take to your life, like to leave a mark in the club that you pass, in this case in Lecce.
Yeah, like you know, I was also a big supporter of Arsenal when I was young, and you know, I love to watch the players who try to do the best for the club, who love the club and who fought for the club when you can see them on the pitch. And that's what I try to do in Lecce. That's what I'm trying to do here also, to show them that it cares for me to win games, to go to Serie B and to stay in Serie A. That was the goals of the season, and I wanted to show them also to the fans that this is the goals we are fighting for. And we went to Serie B, we stayed in Serie A, so it was tough, but you can say I achieved my goals there.
For you, it was normal to be a captain so soon in your career, because you were a young player in that time, you still are, but it was normal for you to have that part of the captain?
Of course I was surprised when they chose me to be a captain. And also to not change as a person and as a player, because it's a big responsibility. So I tried to do what I did the last season, to be myself, to be the player and the person that I am. But of course you need to change some things, because suddenly you have to take care of, you know, many players, and you're the face of the club, you know, when you have to represent the club. So it was not easy. It was a year with challenges to be captain.
It's harder physically or mentally, because here I think it's the most important thing.
Yeah, physically.
It didn't change a lot.
No, because they knew what kind of player I was, but mentally, of course, you have more pressure when you're the captain, because you're taking maybe more care of the team. But even though you have the captain armband, it doesn't mean that you are a leader. It can also be other players at the club, and they also help me a lot, the other players, to take responsibility and to help me with the teammates.
In one of your last interviews in Italy, you talk about the Danish mentality, to adapt, to have the same values, to give everything on the pitch, like for example the brothers Laudrup gave in the Italy League. Do you still believe in that type of Danish mentality?
Yeah, I think many Scandinavians have this mentality to adapt quick and to accept that you are in a different country, so you need to learn new things to be a part of the culture. And I think a lot of Scandinavians have this mentality.
Now we're going to pass to the part of Sporting.
Yes,
and
let's
you are
go.
the second Danish player to come to Sporting. The other one is just between commas Peter Schmeichel.
Yes.
Do you know about the legacy of Peter Schmeichel in Sporting? Did you heard about the 2 seasons that Peter Schmeichel spent in Sporting?
I know that he won the championship.
Yeah, and he was like a major figure to everybody, because he's a great player. Did he spoke to you before you come to Sporting? Something? Do you have contact with him? Something like that?
I met him, I think, 2 months after I signed for Sporting.
And he said something to you about Sporting?
Yeah, the first thing he said, do you know how big a club Sporting is? And I said, yes, it's a very big club. And then one of the guys he remembered was, of course, Paulinho.
Yeah. When you first arrived at Sporting, do you know when was the first time that you heard the interest of Sporting, and what was your reaction to that?
I think it was in the beginning of August. We started to speak a little bit with Sporting, And I was very honored that a club like Sporting, they were interested in me, because I know the history of the club, and I know it's one of the biggest clubs in Portugal, and also in Europe. It's known everywhere, so it was a big honor.
What seduced you the most in this project? It was the ambition of everyone that spoke with you before you arrived at Portugal?
I spoke with some players who had connections here, and also with the staff who was here to hear about the ambitions for me personally, but also for the club. I'm very happy for the time they gave me to think about if it was the right step in my career.
Mentally, it's normal in everyone. When you go to another country, mentally you create some ideas, some perceptions about the new country. When you arrive at Portugal, when you arrive at the Stadium José Alvalade, that type of ideas were confirmed or were like surprised about the environment in Sporting?
No, they were confirmed. I knew that here in Portugal you produce a lot of talents, a lot of big players you can see all around the world. And of course you need a hard-working mentality to produce all of these players. And when I arrived here, I thought, okay, this must be a club that has this mentality, and I could see it from the first day I came here.
And we can see that every day here in the academy, not only on the first team, but in the
Yes,
youth,
exactly.
because the youth players are with very talented. You know, when they go to the first team, the difference from you, of course, it's notorious, but it's not that big, the difference.
That's why
between them.
Sporting is such a big club, that you can see all through the youth, all the players they have, all the staff, the way they work. When they push them up to train with us, we can see the quality. And that's what's amazing about Sporting, that they have this ambition for the young players, for the academy, to show themselves when they come to the first team, and to try to get into the first team and play for us. So that's one thing they must never forget to do, Sporting, and they will never do.
It's almost a legacy, right?
Yes,
because
exactly.
we have Cristiano, Ronaldo, Nani, Fi, Quaresma. We have a lot of players now in the first team, Dario, Afonso,
Exactly.
Calai, everyone.
Yes.
So you think like from a person of football like you are, it's the right path for the big clubs in Europe?
For me, this is the right path, and this is the best path for Sporting, what I think personally. Because they must be a club who produce big talents, produce big players and characters.
Because it's not only important to create good players, it's important to create good people and to have strong mentality to live in the football industry.
I think, of course, you need talent as a football player,
Yeah.
but your character and your mental health is the most important thing to be a top player in the international football. And that's what Sporting is trying to do also with the young kids, to learn them, for them to be ready when they come to the first team.
And do you think they are ready when they go there?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel the quality in the training, and I feel the mentality of the kids who goes to the first team training. That they know what kind of pressure there is in Sporting, and what it means to be a Sporting player.
Do you give them some advices, because you are not that old, but you have a lot of experience in Serie A, in Serie B, in Austria. Do you give them advice on the pitch when they go to the training?
I try to do what I can do to give my advices, but about Sporting, I think they must speak with some players who has been here longer. For me, I only been here a couple of months, so for sure they know much more than me. But that's just my feeling of the club. Within three months, that's what I feel about the club.
Morten, let's go a little back in the first days. Who introduced you to this environment of Sporting, the players that were more close to you? I know that Marcus Edwards, for example, in the first trainings, it was the one that was leading you to the pitch. Who were the players that were more present in that first days, in the first week at Sporting in your training?
Oh, almost every player.
Yeah.
Like, I spoke with every player. I was very surprised that everybody was so nice when I arrived here, and so open. Even though they didn't speak English, they tried to conversate with me and to show me that I'm welcome here. But the first day, half of the team, they were doing recovery, so of course I was speaking a little bit more with Marcus and the players who didn't play against Vieira. But that week it was just easy to come to the training ground and speak with people.
I don't know if you remember, but in your first interview when you did the presentation, you spoke quickly about family.
Yes.
That you are speaking now, that you spoke
yes.
a few minutes before this. Why did you spoke about family? You feel that in the first hours that you spent here in Sporting in Alvalade against Vizela, that you were in the stands, and afterwards in the training center?
Yeah, from the time I arrived at the airport, when I met the people who worked at the club, when I met the staff, when I met the players, when I met the guys doing the laundry, when I met the physios, you know, it's a feeling. I think it's the most important for a club that we are united, that we are one group, and if we are that, we can go very far in the championship. And that's what they told me before I arrived, that I would have this feeling, and now I can confirm it.
Now that you spend almost 4 months here in Sporting, you have more certain that this club is a big family, and it is like always like a religion for the fans, because they only see green and white when they go to the stadium.
Yeah, we you know, the fans, they expect us to do the best we can do, and we want to do the best that we can do, to give them wonderful games, to give them goals, to don't take goals, to give them good performances.
Like they push you in front because they're always supporting you, and you need to push them to you because you need to do good exhibitions, don't concede goals, score goals. It's like a connection between you and the fans, you as a team.
We try to have a connection with the fans, of course, because we need the support of the fans. They are able to push us, you know, the last couple of percents in the game, so maybe we can get the 3 points of the last goal or don't take goal. And I could see also this season that we have many fans coming to the games, and it's always wonderful for us players to see the support that they show us in the stadium.
Before speaking about your role in the pitch, the 42, why is that, the number? It's special, symbolic, something?
When I arrived in Italy, you know, the squads in Italy, they have a lot of players, more than 30 players. So most of their numbers were not available, but 42 was, so I took that one.
And now?
And I took the same when I arrived here at Sporting.
But you have some number that you like the most before the 42, or?
When I was a kid and I...
6?
No, 21 was one of my favorite numbers, it still is.
Okay, it's right. Then I'm gonna do to you like 3 important moments, 3 important matches. The first one, obviously, in the stands of Alvalade, you were not playing against Vizela. How do you react to that winning goal of Paulinho? It was the first time that you saw the magnitude, that part of the Sportingistas and the strength of the team until the last minute. How do you feel in that game? You suffer more in the stands than in the pitch.
You suffer a lot more. First half, I was very, very happy about the first half, because we did an excellent performance the first 45 minutes, and then the next 45 minutes, of course, we conceded 2 goals. But even though we conceded 2 goals, that the team was able to do a last-minute winner, I think it shows the mentality of the team. So I was of course nervous, because I was hoping that we will not lose points in the first game. So it was a big relief when Paulinho scored the 3-2 winner, and of course, like the word I said before, happiness.
The first goal, well, it could have been earlier in Braga,
yes,
but appears in that game in Alvalade. So it was important for you. I think it was your second goal as a senior.
Yeah. I don't score a lot of goals, but it was. You know, a player like me, goals, if you score, if you don't score, not that important. But of course, celebrating with the fans and with my teammates for the first goal was a nice feeling.
And before that, I forgot, the game in Casa Pia. That was your first match in Sporting. You were nervous. It was like a normal moment for you? It was special to...
Of course, it was special to make my debut for a club like Sporting. It was a big moment for me to enter that game and win.
You are, Sporting is in the 4 leads of the competitions: Portuguese Cup League, the Championship, and the UEFA Europa League. This is like a big task for everyone. What made the success in this first part of the season? What do you think it was the main secret about the success of this team in this part of the season?
I think one of the most important things is that the squad is a lot of quality players, so the coach is able to change some players every week, every game. So many players gets minutes, gets playing time, and we saw that the first couple of months, and that's why we are still in the four competitions. But it's too early to say anything about about the championship. We will keep on working until May.
Everyone says that Sporting is one of the teams that plays best in Portugal. The ideas of Ruben Amorim, the coach, are very clear for the players and for you, obviously.
The coach, Ruben Amorim, he likes to do tactics, a lot of tactics. So it's very clear for every player the ideas of him and the way he wants to play with the team. And I think you can see that, I could see that against Vieira when I arrived, the way the coach wants to play. So that's also important for a team, for a player that knows what the coach is asking. So it's very clear for all of us.
What do you expect from you in the pitch? What insists you to be better in that position of the midfield? Not revealing all the secrets, please.
No, but I think your attitude is the most important thing for the coach. That he can see that even though you don't have the best game on the ball, that you are missing maybe some touches or some passes, that he can feel that you are ready for the team, that you will run the meters that you need to run, that you will fight for every ball. And then after he takes a look on how you are performing technically. But of course the physics and the tactics are two things that he looks a lot into.
Because that position is nuclear in the strategy of Sporting, and in the past years we had the great players in that position. João Palhinha, that is in Fulham, Manuel Ugarte, that is on Paris Saint-Germain. It is very important, that position that you play now in Sporting, in your opinion, and of course in the coach opinion, in the strategy of the coach.
Yeah, I try to do my best in that position and to do what the coach is asking for me to help the team as much as I can. And I know, of course, before there was some big players in my position, but I believe in myself, and I believe I can do my best here and to show that I'm able to play for Sporting.
In the recent interview of Vitor, he said that the coach demands a lot of you in the trainings to be the reflection after in the games. Is that true?
Yeah, he demands a lot, but he told me early that was one of the things players love about him, that he demands a lot for his players. And that's the type he is, and you need to accept that, because he takes the decisions on the pitch and who is going to play, and of course you want to play. So that's one thing he likes to do, and that's one thing you need to accept.
And that type of communication I think is the key for that type of success and the secret, because when he gives you the feedback, it's important for any player of the team who plays more or who plays a little less. It's important to know what the coach wants from you, and Ruben Amorim does that, I think.
Yeah, also his staff. Honesty is very important for players, that they can feel that the staff and the coach is honest with them, and that he will tell you when he's not satisfied with you, and when he is satisfied with you. So honesty is one thing that you need to do as a coach.
Honestly, do you feel that you improved as a player in these 4 months under the management of Ruben Amorim and all the staff of Sporting?
Personally, yes. think I improved. It was hard in the beginning because the way they play football in Italy and in Portugal are two different worlds. So of course I needed some weeks and some months to get in that physical shape that I had to play in this system. But speaking about physics, yes, I had to improve, but of course also the way you play football here technically was also different. So I needed to improve on that also. So that those two words, physically and technically, I needed to improve, and I think I did it. But of course I can do a lot better.
You are the type of player that you went home and you switch off from the football, or in the first times in Portugal, did you went home and you saw the games, you remember the trainings, and you tried to be best to study that part of strategy?
I try to.
It's a balance between
I
the
try
two.
to do a balance when I arrived home, that I'm with my fiance and with my family when they are here, and to forget football a little bit. And when I arrived here, that I go into that focus and also watch the video clips so I can improve on the pitch to be a better player.
But this is not possible if it wasn't a part of the group. How can you describe this group of Sporting? You said family. Do you have more words to describe this group of the season of Sporting?
I think I described it quite well about my first week when I arrived here, how I felt about the group. And you have the feeling that nobody can be above the group. That before we were speaking about the coach is demanding, but it's also very important that the players are demanding
From each other
to perform better, to set more goals and to achieve those goals. So also the way the players need to be demanding on each other is important.
The talent is all over the team. We can see that outside of the pitch. Who surprised you the most in that part of the talent that you were not probably expect from a lot of players, but who surprised you the most, individually or collectively, the group as one?
Collectively, the group. I think collectively we have a good group. The way we play and the intensity we put in every game, and the performances we did already in the season. I think we showed already Portugal what kind of team we are, also Europe, and how big a club Sporting is. So yeah.
This game against Sport was one of the examples of that you were speaking in this answer?
Yeah, it was very...
One of them.
Tactically well-performed games, but of course we demand more from ourselves. We want to improve even more, to be a better team, to do perfect performances. Of course it's difficult, you will do mistakes, but that's why we try to improve.
You play hand by hand with Morita a lot of times in the midfield, but also with Dani and Darius sometimes,
yes.
The younger one. What do you think about all of them? It's easy to play around that type of players?
It's easy to play around all of the players we have because we have so much quality and they make you a better player. But also about the three players that you named, for me, are top players. So yeah, it's easy to play with them, and we all know what kind of role we have on the team, and I know their qualities and they know my qualities. So the balance we have between each other is very good.
Now I have some moments that we are always on the sideline to see your games, and we notice some of the details that most of the people can see. One of them, it was when Victor scored the hat-trick in one game, and you were at the bench with him, and and everyone started chanting the song of Victor, and he was like with the jacket doing that to the fans. I saw your happiness towards Victor. It's example that what you feel about your colleagues, if they are happy, if they are satisfied with what they are doing in the pitch, you as a person, you feel also very satisfied with everything that is happening with them?
Yes, of course. Of course, when it happens for Victor, I'm always happy for him, and he deserves it a lot. But also all of the other players, and for sure, it's not only me that are happy for one player like Victor, but also I can feel if it was happening to me, all the players around the team, they will show the same type of happiness towards me. And of course, when a player performs like this, we want to show him how happy we are with that. And when somebody scores a hat-trick, you need to congratulate him and celebrate with him, of course. But every player will do it here in Sporting. I can make sure of that.
Is that part of your Danish mentality that you are speaking about?
It needs to be a part of every player in a group, like I was speaking about before, that we push each other to achieve those goals, to win football games.
Yeah, of course. We were speaking about the surprises in Sporting and in the Portuguese league, the Portuguese football. Did it surprise you in some way, the technicians, the qualities of the people that are playing in Portugal? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I remember my first game in Casapia. I was surprised about the Casapia. It was a good team. And even when we play in Taça, against smaller teams in Portugal, you have quality players. I think it's a very underrated country, and they have a lot of good players here. And that's why you see around Europe that a lot of players started in Portugal and then they went to bigger clubs. So that surprised me, yes.
In every game you cannot push the brake.
Never.
Always
yes.
Trying to speed up because the teams know a lot. Every team is prepared for Sporting. We are on the top, so they are chasing Sporting in every game. So it's
exactly.
Getting harder.
Exactly.
In the beginning of the season.
Every game is tough in this championship. I can tell you that, and that's why we need the group to push together to stay as a unit, because sometimes we will not perform well.
Yeah.
But even though we are not performing well, we need to win. Like we sell a game in the second half, that even though we take 2 goals, Paulinho, you score and we win.
You played at Portugal and you play at Europa League. It was your first time in the European competitions. You played UEFA Youth League. That is a little window to the next ones. How do you feel about it? To play in that type of competition is a dream of every player. Okay, the Champions League, but Europa League also.
I love to play football games as much as possible. So I always enjoy to play that kind of games, also to meet different types of teams and different type of football. So it was a very good experience to play the Europe League.
In the national team, because Sporting opened the doors and your work here in Lecce opened the doors to the national team. You had 3 appearances. What is the goal for the next months in the national team? Is to be regular in the squad of the Danish team?
Yeah, I think first of all my goals are here at Sporting.
Yeah.
To perform well at Sporting.
It's only possible to go there if you
perform well here. But of course it means a lot for me to be in the national team, but I know I need to show it through my performances here at Sporting to go to the national team and to be a part of the starting 11 there in the future, and of course to be a part of the team in the Euros next year.
Let me go straight to the compensation time, to the final minutes of this interview. The other moment that I want to talk to you about is about your glow in your eyes when you finish the game and you look to the stands. Even in away games, that Sporting fans are always solding out the stands, but in Estádio José Alvalade, what do you see about the Sporting issues? What gives you that feeling about them?
That we are enjoying a win together, or we are unhappy with a draw, or if we lose, that we do it together, that we share the moments together, the team and the fans, to be one Sporting.
Do you already understand the greatness of this club, the importance of the Lion for each of the millions of fans that we have in Sporting?
Yes, I understand, and I understood it from the first time I came here. But even now, it's hard to understand how big the club is.
And what is importance for you, particularly, that you understand already about Sporting?
What's most important?
What means to you now, Sporting?
Sporting, yeah, like before, it became a family very fast, and that's why I enjoy every time I go into my car and I drive to the training ground.
Of course. What can you promise to Sportingistas? I know that the players don't want to promise a lot because it's everyday process, every game process. But what can you say to the Sportingistas about you and about what you live in the pitch in each game?
Yeah, like I was saying before, that they can see my love for the club and the fire I have inside to win, to share good moments together.
It seems good. The next one will be in Portuguese, the next interview that we will do.
I hope.
Let me finish with some Danish writer that is Hans Christian Andersen, that is very well known in Denmark, that wrote Life Itself, it's the most wonderful fairy tale. If you could give a title to this fairy tale of Morten Hjulmand in Sporting, which title do you give to these 4 months of Morten Hjulmand in Sporting?
My 4 months here?
Yeah.
It's like being in school again.
Again.
It's becoming a part of me now to be a Sporting player. So that's what I can say about that.
That is special.
It's a good fairy tale, and I could not wish for a better place to be right now in my life with my fiancé.
Let's see the other words that you want to put in this this book. Morten,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Obrigado for this moment. Morten Hjulmand em inglês, claro, e com alguns toques também em dinamarquês no início, não com tanta qualidade, mas sem dúvida muito importantes nesta entrevista, a primeira grande entrevista do jogador dinamarquês ao serviço do Sporting Clube de Portugal, claro, à Sporting TV, de modo a conhecermos um pouco mais da vida, daquilo que foi o percurso e, claro, deste fairy tale, deste conto de fadas no Sporting Clube de Portugal. Esperemos que tenha muitos mais capítulos a verde e branco.